Good morning, and welcome to Winnipeg. Now this cup, I don't think it matters which way I turn it. It seems to look good no matter how I turn it. I guess if we want to see the center of the sub, we got to turn it like this. Okay, we made progress last night and yesterday afternoon. And it was interesting that the way I discovered to get these pieces aligned was also the way at least two other viewers were. There was Jeff Donahue and Dennis Dwyer. They both suggested exactly what I did, and I had to sort of chuckle to myself when I read the comments later, and I thought, hey, we're great minds think alike. I think I said that to Dennis. Anyway, I finally figured out a good way to get everything lined up, because I was worried about the fact that the torpedo tubes might not line up when we put it into the module. Anyway, watch the rollback and you'll see what happened. Okay, now, it is foggy out there. In fact, the house across the street is a little bit on the misty side. Yeah, and you know, when I was sitting in front of the computer reading my comments this morning, I looked up into the monitor, and for a moment I was kind of startled because there was this most unusual glow that I had never seen before over top of the bridge, the pedestrian overpass. And I thought, what's happened? And I sat there for a few seconds watching to see if it was getting bigger or something. I thought, like, maybe there's been a big explosion, a couple of miles away or something. I mean, it was that kind of thing. But it wasn't. It was just the way the light from one of the street lights was refracting off of the fog. But I never noticed it quite like that before. Anyway, it doesn't take much to amuse me, does it? All right. I think that what we should do, because the rollback is very long, I think we should just get right at it. Yep. Let's roll back. Okay, what I'd like to do this late afternoon is continue on, I guess. And regrettably, my neighbor was not able to come. He had genuine circumstances that were beyond his control that prevented him from doing so. Okay, so what's going on here now? All right, I've got one of my rotating blocks, and I have found that this angle right here is, as luck would have it, you might say a perfect square. So we will take advantage of that. And okay, it's that one. Okay, now I know that that's square, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do here, all being well. Okay, we still have our module standing up on its end, and as you can see, the torpedo is see if I can get in here. It's resting on the deck, and in real life that just wouldn't be. It's probably up, it might be very close to the deck, but it wouldn't be resting right on it. So what I was thinking was this little wooden square here. I know I have to be careful how I put this in, because if you notice that there's a little part of the plastic right here, okay, well, I can't have it touching that, or on top of that rather, or it's going to be a false reading. So I have to go, see if I can do this now. So I'll go in. Okay, that's as far in as I can go. Now, if I can hold this with this hand and just sort of, okay, now just check and see how, no, this is not working. Okay, there we go. Okay, there, I've got it. Now I just want to sort of eyeball that, okay? You can see that now. Okay, it looks like, oh, I'm guessing about 4 millimeters. Okay, so if I was to, yeah, if I was to find something about that thick and just sort of lay it under there, I wonder if that thing that I use on the macro lens is about the right thickness. Where is it? Can't find it. Okay, I found it. I wonder if I could get it in there though. Maybe from the other side? No, can't get it in from the other side. Well, I need something like this, about this thick, and only a lot smaller. So let me push stop here for a moment. Okay, now is that too much? That's, yeah, that might be too much. Okay, here's another way of doing it. I haven't tried it yet, so, but I think this might let us see what angle these pieces have to be so that they're going to be able to fit into the hull. Okay, now this thing we see right here goes, it would go in, I think, would it go in here, or would it go in here, and the smaller one would go up here? No. Okay, I think that this one that I'm touching with my finger here. Oh, somebody's at the door. I'll be right back. Hello, Missy. Okay, I'm back. That was Missy the dog for her evening dog cookie. Alright, here's another way of doing this. Rather than speculating which holes we've got to put this in, why don't I just carefully see if I can't hold this together, and I don't want it to fall apart here, because if it does, we're going to damage stuff. So I'm pressing it like you see, and as near as I can tell, that's the way it's supposed to be held together. Now I don't want to be scratching the inside of that. You know, this is not at the right angle. I should be turning this so that it's more like this. I'm gonna have to prop it up somehow, because you can't believe it. It goes almost to the other end of the side of the model table, and this isn't all of the hull. Oh my goodness, this is going to be one huge model. Okay, just let me recompose here. Okay, I had a piece of foam left over from when I made that custom-made e-bike seat, if you'll remember. All right, now we'll try this again. Very carefully here, holding everything together so it doesn't fall apart. Very carefully here. Now I think it goes here. Is it? Okay, I don't know if I've got the pieces in the slots. Okay, that one goes there. Yeah, okay, that's it. That is the way it goes. Okay, now clearly these torpedoes. Maybe I should see if I can move you in here. Sometimes this sort of thing works, and sometimes it's just a big disaster. Okay. These torpedoes should line up with these slots. Okay. And in order to do that, okay, now if this piece is in the right spot and it is locked into place. Okay, the larger piece, it's locked into place. Then, okay, then these, it does look like the back of this tube is. Where's that little piece of wood I had again? I'm just gonna try it in here. No, it's too thick. All right, how about something like this? Is this the right thickness? It's a little bit too thick. I'm gonna find something a little thinner than that. Oh, this is something that I use to for auto-focusing. Whenever I autofocus. Anyway. Okay, just let me push stop again. Okay, now here's another way of seeing if this is lined up the way it's supposed to go. Let's just very carefully see if we can get our torpedo to go back up the tube. Okay. And see where it's going to come out. Okay, then we can get a dead center in that, like that. Maybe I should put something underneath here to raise this up just a little bit, like this. Okay. All right, now what is the spacing? First of all, is this main piece locked in place here properly? Yeah, it's definitely locked in place. Okay. So that to my way of, let me just get over top of it here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, now what is the spacing there? I'm making maybe too big of a deal of this, because if it was glued slightly wrong, in all likelihood it could be sort of bent a little bit, but I'd like to get it right the first time. Okay, the spacing is not quite as much as I thought it was. It looks like about 2 millimeters. Okay, I'm just gonna, oh, wait. This is moved. Okay, now it looks like about 3 millimeters, maybe 4. Okay. Let's try this piece of wood. That is probably a little bit too thick. Well, you know what? I think I'm just going to eyeball it. Yeah. On the other hand, I can't eyeball it, because what I was going to do was rely on gravity to be our friend, and if we don't have something stuck in there to keep that from going back up against the deck here, yeah, so I got to find something that's the right thickness. Okay, so what I need is something just a little bit thinner than this. Well, that shouldn't be that hard. Okay, let's try this one. Perfect. Okay, we've got it. Okay, I'll just cut a little piece off of this, and this is what we use. A little piece of mahogany. Can't get mahogany anymore. Yep. Okay, this rubber band seems to have a lot of stretch to it. Now, I thought maybe if I could go around underneath here, and then like this, that would help hold everything together. But I'm a little bit leery about doing that. See, right now gravity is being our friend, and it's holding our torpedo in, up where it's supposed to go, except that this is not in place. But once we get this in place, like that, basically. Maybe I should have a little piece of masking tape here to hold it flat. Let me put this back down very carefully now. Because if I have an accident here and bust a bunch of stuff, I'm never going to hear the end of it. Okay, this is okay. Another way of doing it maybe would be to saturate this area right, this end here and right in here with the CA thick. Okay, I think maybe what I should do is, okay, which way can I put this down here that I'm least likely to break off one of those doors? Probably like that. Okay. Yeah, because what's happening is when the torpedo is pressing down on here, it's flipping it up, and it might be sort of changing the thickness, but maybe not either. Maybe this one would be better. Actually, the green stuff would be the best. I think this doesn't have a tendency to let go quite as fast as the Tamiya tape does. All right. Somehow the fingers don't want to work this evening. Okay. Yeah, that should hold this down. I know it doesn't. I know it keeps coming up, but the torpedo will hold it down. Okay, let's just do a bit of a dry run here. I wonder, remove that black rod. Let's put this back up here like this. I gotta be so careful. Well, why is it not locking in place? It worked so good before. What am I doing wrong here? Whoops. Maybe if I could turn it so I could see it. There we go. Got it. Okay. Now, we got to get some either extra thin, maybe, I'd like to use the extra thin in there and let it do its melding thing. I wonder, that's why I wanted to use the elastic band, because then I could, turn it any old way I want, and it's going to always stay that way. Might be safer going down on this side here. Okay, if this breaks and pieces of plastic go flying, remember it will be because we didn't do it right. Yeah, that's basically holding together now, isn't it? Now, I should be able to turn this upside down. Now, what's going to happen? It's going to rest on here, and maybe it'll rest right there. Let's see what happens. No, I gotta find something to put underneath there. Okay, now as near as I can tell, yeah, our little piece of wood is in the right place. Our torpedo tubes are right where they're supposed to go, and we can get the extra thin. We can get the extra thin right in there. Okay, let's recompose and do that. Okay, there should still be lots in here from earlier. But what I'd like to do is see if I can't just very carefully, I'm pushing from the back. Yeah, it's going in now. I think there was probably a little bit of, you can see the sprue goo forming there. Well, I guess that's mostly paint. But we're gonna flood it in a little bit more. See, very carefully here. I know, once again, I know that looks like lots, but all of that you see is going to evaporate, and hopefully it's going to make everything sort of meld together. Yeah. Now I'm just going to sort of hunker down and look in at an angle here. Does it look like our little block of wood is still in the right place? Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay. So when this dries overnight, this should be really strong. Not that it can't be broken, of course, but you know, as long as I'm reasonably careful. Maybe it might be a good idea to leave that little block of wood in there, and then somehow fasten something around everything so that this whole thing can't twist when being handled, if you know what I mean. Yeah, maybe an elastic band actually, but of course then the elastic band is going to want to bend on this thing. I'll think of something. Okay, you know what? I think we've done about all we can do here this evening. Now then, once again, this will evaporate, so don't go yelling at your screens and saying, too much glue, too much glue. Because I know I'm trying to create sprue goo here. And we are. We'll look at it closely in the morning. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the morning. Okay, it is morning. And you're probably noticing that we're badly out of focus. Well, I deliberately did that. And this is why. I think it was in the rollback I was talking about this thing and what I use it for. So you probably can't see it because the screen is not sharp, but right in the center of the screen there's a little red square, and that's where my focusing point is. I have my camera adjusted like that, so there's just a very narrow field of view for focusing. Now I know some of you are saying, "Come on, hurry up and focus this thing. It's driving me crazy." Well, we will. And now I can move that square around, but I generally have it more or less in the center of the screen. And the reason for that is I'll take this. Now, ideally, we would probably, when I stand this thing up on its end, because that's what I plan to do, I would, ideally it should be focused right on here, but because I want a little bit of the background in focus as well, like maybe the coffee cup, I'm going to hold this up. And then I'm going to I get it so that and then I will press my focusing button here, and this should go right into focus. And if you happen to be watching this in a high definition, you should actually be able to see the grid on this. Okay, here we go. All right. Now I hope that's better. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I can almost see the little red square on the screen there. All right. Now let's continue on. Enough about camera stuff. Oh, by the way, I think it was Military Modeler Paul mentioned that he was getting a remote for his camera. If you're thinking of doing this sort of thing, and if your camera has a remote, oh, that is so handy. You don't need to always be reaching up to it and shaking it and trying to adjust it and making a noise with your hand, because generally the microphones are stuck in the camera or on it, depending on how you happen to do it. I find that the microphones on this camera that I'm looking at right now are excellent. They have really good sound. Okay, enough about that. Let's carry on here, and we're going to want to try and remove our rubber bands. And I think the best way for me to remove them is to do it reverse of how I took them off. And then we'll try and... I can't talk and work at the same time. Okay. Then we'll layer back down again and put the macro lens on, and have a nice close look at our glued up connection there. It should be fairly strong, but we'll be able to wiggle it, and you'll be able to see it a lot better if I move in. Now, I was thinking that perhaps before we put the macro lens on, we should remove our little block of wood here so that we'll be able to actually see how well our sprue glue connected everything up. Now, I should be able to... Yeah, I can put this down any old way at all this way. There's nothing on the bottom that's fragile like these little doors and what have you. And now, where's Tony's tweezers? Here we go. Now, if you remember, I was saying that we will put it back in afterwards. Now you can see there was a certain amount of play there, but it should be fairly strong, at least as long as I'm careful. That is, as long as I'm careful. Okay. All right. Now we'll put our macro lens on and take a nice close look. Okay, I know I could have moved in just a little bit closer with my macro lens here, but I wanted the full length of this connection to show here. And our sprue glue is hard, probably 99% as hard as it's going to get. It might get a little bit more, you might say, brittle. But it does seem to be fairly strong. You know, if I try to bend it here, naturally I can snap it off, naturally. But under normal handling conditions, I think that it's going to hold okay. And we will put this back on and give it a little bit more strength. I think I'll do that next, actually. Okay, at this moment I'm looking right down in between these torpedoes here, and I'm seeing a lot of detail that unfortunately we are not going to see once this module is assembled. I've put a different piece of tape on here on our little piece of mahogany, and the reason being is that I want to have a little tab on it so it'll be a little easier to remove later. Now that should stay there in case I accidentally twist this like this and it lifts off. And the just very slowly and carefully here, just yeah, that should stay on there. Now we want to put a rubber band around this to hold it so that there's always going to be tension on our piece of mahogany. And I was looking at this right now, and this part right here is nice and strong, and so is this one. The tanks are fairly strong. I think it should be safe. May as well use this yellow one that we used before. Okay, we should be able to, or is it going to be too small maybe? Well, let's just try it here. Can we get it on underneath everything? Don't want to break that little rod. No, this is going to be too loose. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a. You know what? I think I might be better off turning this whole thing up and setting it on its end again. Okay, I've got this rubber band here. It feels a little bit dried out, so I'm gonna have to be careful not to stretch it any more than I need to get it up over the part here. Now let's sort of be careful. I hope I'm not getting my hands in your view. Alright, as best I can tell, this is snapped down on strong stuff. I didn't snap it down on anything that you might say is get it as far back as I can, because then we'll have the best leverage going on. Not the world's strongest rubber band, but it should work. Don't want it over this part here, or it's going to defeat the purpose. Okay, I think we did pretty good here. All right, and now let's just see how much pressure it's going to take to get it off the mahogany piece of wood. Quite a bit, actually. So that's good. So that means that when we're handling this thing, we don't need to worry about accidentally breaking our connection here. And then once this piece is in the module, I'll just snip the rubber band. Yeah. Okay, I think we did good here. Let's move on. Well, at least it still smells like a muffin. I hope Arlene is watching. Okay, Arlene. If you happen to be watching this, I know that you know I'm just kidding around here. And yeah, you gave me 3 batches of these muffins, and I enjoyed all 3 batches. And if I never receive any more, well, I'll still die a happy man. Well, the sunshine is really shining nice and bright out there. And I'm just looking in the screen right now and I'm realizing that I'm going to have to really crank the HDR when I'm editing. Otherwise the model table is going to look pretty dark. Now, step 15. I can't see anything that we have left to do on it. 16. Okay, well in 16 we've already got part of it done. That's, pardon my boarding house reach here. That's our little box. We already got that made up. We got to do something about the overhead bulkhead. And by that I mean maybe drill holes for lights, but that's going to have to be in the next episode. Yeah, I've done too much messing around here with special effects and muffins and all that kind of stuff. But I had a good time today, I'll tell you. And yesterday too. Now, okay, what I'm planning to do about the sunrise, which was probably non-existent, is hopefully I'm going to be able to show you that unusual light. Maybe I can do that in time-lapse. We'll see how that works out. I haven't seen Dawn and Bridget yet, so I don't know if they're there, but I'm sure they came. They always do. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we're going to see you tomorrow.